WWE's latest pay-per-view SummerSlam 2025 has now officially come and gone, and given everything that has happened over the last 2 or 3 nights, there is a lot to talk about, and I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it already. This might genuinely be one of my favorite SummerSlams ever. 12 matches, 6 matches per night, with phenomenal storytelling, great matches, great character building, and the Beast came back, so let's go. Last place for me is Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, and when WWE has a clear-cut winner that they should let win, yet go in the opposite direction, it annoys me to no end. And now, knowing what we know over this weekend, that Karrion Kross and Scarlett's contracts are up for dispute, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't choose to renew. I'm a huge fan of Sami Zayn, everyone knows this, but I'm also a huge fan of Karrion Kross coming out of NXT. They've done him wrong so many times. If he leaves, more power to him. Great match, wrong winner. Up next is Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, and this is purely based on preference, the reason why it's so low. When you have not one but two celebrities in a match, you should really give them more time instead of the main performers, as much as that annoys me to say. But having Jelly Roll, the celebrity of this match, execute the fake injury angle for what felt like 90% of the match, and then lose anyway, was just a terrible booking decision. I hate when they run an injury angle for anyone in a tag match. Seeing Randy and Drew lock up was kinda cool, but yeah, it's whatever. Kicking off my top 10, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship, and the reason this is so low mainly is because when you have a world title match between two phenomenal wrestlers on a big stage, you do not give them 7 minutes. They should have been given at least 10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes to play within a match. Having to execute their moves really quickly, and then, in my opinion, what felt like a really rushed ending, I'm just really glad Tiffany Stratton retained. Dare I say she's my favourite champion in the entirety of WWE right now. I'm really happy she won this. Number 9 is Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in the Steel Cage for the United States Championship, and this is easily my most frustrating match of the night. Why? Because I've never seen such a predictable winner. Knowing the second the MFT or whatever Solo's group is called shows up that Jacob is losing, I would have liked for Jacob to win for some surprise factor, but no, again, they make it too obvious. First with Tamatonga, then Tangaloa, then Tamatina, and Hikaleo, or whatever they call him in WWE, like Tamatonga, the tank engine, whatever. When Jacob leans his head out and gets booted, I knew it was raps. This match was underwhelming, it was annoying. Am I glad Solo retained? Yeah. Am I angry at this match? Hell yeah. Number 8 for the Women's Tag Team Championships, the Judgment Day, plus Roxanne Perez, versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, where they did the typical will they, won't they, coexist, tune in for this tag team match, where they clearly will win after being frenemies for so long. This was a decent enough match. I'm glad Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair won, and that's literally all I have to say about it. Moving on. Lucky number 7 is Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this match has the most rewatchability value of the entire night. Why? Because of one man up there in heaven looking down at us 20 years later, Eddie Guerrero, God rest his soul, rest in peace, having many, many callbacks to him, whether it be AJ's lowrider entrance, AJ's entrance, Dominic doing the boot spot, the lie cheat steal, the chair spot where Dominic falls but then AJ improvises and wraps it around his own head. This was just awesome, it was fun, it was lighthearted. I'm also glad that Dominic won. It's a little shocking seeing AJ lose, but it was decent enough. Number 6 is the Women's World Championship triple threat between Naomi, the champion, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. And what a way this was to kick off SummerSlam itself as a pay-per-view. All three women went out of their ways to deliver a classic. Does it mean it's better than WrestleMania with Bianca instead of Naomi? In my opinion, I think the WrestleMania triple threat is just a slightly bit better, but this is still a phenomenal match. Top 10 of the year? Quite arguably. Honestly, it might be. And I'm also really glad that Naomi won this one. Jumping into the top 5, we have Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship in what I think really should have just been called a no-holds-barred match instead of no countouts and no DQ, which is basically a no-holds-barred match anyway. And this has all the rewatchability value. I'll be going back to watch this multiple times. This might be one of my favorite women's matches of the entire year. And the way they were just being creative with all the spots in a 31-minute match, the second longest match in this entire 2-day event. Correct me if I'm wrong, obviously. But that spot where Lyra is hung up on the ring post, taking kendo stick shots while being zip tied, still makes me wince in pain. The inclusion of Bailey was really awesome, and seeing Bailey versus Lyra in the future, I'm ready for it. Number 4, the tag match between the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus The Vision, Braun and Bronson. And what a way this was to kick off SummerSlam. In my opinion, I thought this was going to be a co-main event for one of the nights. Having it kick off the entirety of SummerSlam was such a perfect and smart move to hype up the crowd and hype up everybody at home. Having Roman Reigns also jump over the top rope is kinda shading the Big Dog days, which was a cool callback, and now people can finally stop calling Roman Reigns selfish. The way he took the spear from Braun Breaker, pushing Jey Uso out the way so they could win, a la WrestleMania 40, that was an insane ending. Taking the third place on this one is the main event of night one, the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther versus CM Punk. And the reason this takes third place, I will get into in a minute. But this was just insanely physical. Gunther and Punk have surprisingly good chemistry. Am I happy with the winner? Honestly, no, but maybe in the future I will talk about it more. I wish Gunther honestly did win this match. Having Punk with a world title is a cool little moment. And then there's the Seth Rollins cash-in. Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy's finally happy with this whole outcome about 16 years later. Seth Rollins is now the new world champion and he is living up to his namesake. He said he would never allow CM Punk to be world champion as long as he's breathing. And that whole injury angle, I didn't expect it. That was awesome. My runner-up, the 6 tag team TLC match between all 12 of these amazing wrestlers. And this was the show stealer of the night. It is this high for me because rewatchability value is through the roof. You could go back and watch this match for one particular spot and fall in love with it all over again. The Wyatt Six winning, I'm okay with that. I'm glad. It adds to their credibility. And for God's sake, someone please check on Candice LeRae. Johnny Gargano is sleeping on the couch for the foreseeable future, but this match was incredible. But coming in at number 1 for me as the greatest match at SummerSlam 2025 is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. And this really proved all the haters wrong. A complete 180 from their WrestleMania match. Having these two prove that yes, they can fight. Instead of having a heel versus face, we finally got a face John Cena, the reason he is the GOAT, the reason he's the greatest, the reason he's on that Mount Rushmore, and the reason he's my idol in the first place. We finally got the face versus face match we should have gotten at WrestleMania. Everything about this match is perfect. It was a bit over the top in the last 10 minutes. Having Cena kick out of the triple crossroads for the first time, and I think Cody's one of the few people to kick out of the Avalanche AA, which is insane to think about. And then we have the victory of Cody Rhodes, the passing of the torch, and a beast came back. So, I'm not going to be talking about Lesnar's return on this video. Maybe in the future I will, but I'm definitely excited for the future. We are seeing Cena versus Lesnar potentially. Cody's champion again. This SummerSlam, honestly, it might be one of my favorites of all time. So overall, in my opinion, SummerSlam 2025, for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, a WWE pay-per-view is getting a 10 out of 10 from me. This was perfect. Both nights, the match setups, the scheduling, the matches in between, both main events delivering. This was crazy, it was insane. Rewatchability-wise, this is a SummerSlam I'll be going back and rewatching in my lifetime at least 10 times, maybe even 100 at one point. This was one of the greatest SummerSlams in recent memory. It's definitely cracked my top 5. And having every match deliver was just perfect.